I have a strong fondness for the Coast Guard, and I don't know exactly where that comes from. Maybe it comes from the part of the ocean, but it comes from something else, I think, too. My son received a little remote control helicopter when he was little, and it happened to be red, and by the time it was all done, we had it painted up like a Coast Guard helicopter. It's something, I think, about the way when they go out, they do battle. To rescue people, to give of themselves, they battle the weather, but they also battle the limitations of their human bodies and the limitations of their minds. In 1952, there was a ship off the coast of Massachusetts in 60-foot waves that split in two. And Disney had the wisdom to hear the story about that and the Coast Guard rescue and to make a movie of it. It's called The Finest Hours. If you haven't seen it, it's worth the watch. And there's even a page, you can go online and you can separate fiction from fact, or real truth from alternative truth. And I shouldn't have gone to that page, because my favorite scene in the movie is where the townspeople drive their old cars down to the shoreline. And they sit and they wait, and when they feel it's time, when they hear a radio call, they turn on their cars and they pull on their headlights, and the headlights are the sign that here's shore and here's where the rescuers should come. Turns out they did go down to the shore, but they did not use their headlights to guide anyone home. But Disney caught on to something with that. I mean, what Disney was doing was kind of catching the spirit of the fact that they did go down to the shore. They were concerned about how this rescue was occurring, whether they would get home safely. They were in prayer. They were trying to be supportive of the people that were out there, trying to bring home the people on the ship that had split in two. They also picked up, knowingly or not, on the Isaiah reading this morning. Release the restraints, untie the ropes, set free the mistreated, break every yoke, share your bread with the hungry, bring the homeless poor into your house, clothe those in tatters, and you shall be light for the nations to find their way. Light that breaks out like the dawn and brings healing. They picked up, knowingly or not, on this whole idea that Jesus speaks of, you are the light of the world. We are meant to shine. We are meant to feel so deeply for those who are in harm's way that we can't help but try and share God's love with them. We are meant to feel so deeply that we will risk a part of ourselves for the sake of someone else. We are meant to shine, following a man whose message has outlasted all the leaders of this world, nations and empires. We are meant to shine in times of storm and in times of human need. Remember, at one point, Hillary Clinton said that all the voters for Donald Trump, well, not all of them, half of them, were deplorable. And the next day she apologized because that was a little dramatic and it was insulting someone, and she realized that. Well, that was a Democrat to a Republican. Well, this last week, Orrin Hatch, a Republican, nailed the Democrats by calling them idiots, and also childish and silly. And a president, it doesn't seem to matter whether you're Democrat or Republican, you just may get insulted depending upon the day. We know that. And then in Berkeley, which you'd think would be a bastion of free speech and all of that sort of thing, there was, I don't call it protest, I call it a riot, because things were broken and threats were made. It wasn't just, they didn't like somebody who was coming to speak, and so they ended up ending the opportunity for free speech because it became too dangerous to have the speaker come to the campus. All I'm saying is we are in the midst of a storm. And more than one person has mentioned to me the exact feeling that I get at times. Wow, a sinking feeling. Sometimes it feels like it's time to send out the SOS, and would the Coast Guard just come in and save us? And then we come to today's passage, and in today's passage we hear Jesus saying, in effect, you are the Coast Guard. You are the people of light. You are called to be the rescuers. You are the light in the darkness. We are the ones with the purpose that is called to carry us through. Wednesday night we had a small night for the kids. We only had 26 of them. It's just fun to say that. So we had 26 of them, and it was communion night. We had them gather over here. And I shared with them what I shared with you, just a little bit of how some of the nation's leaders were using words to talk to one another. And I asked them, so if you call your brother an idiot, what's mom or dad going to say about that? And they didn't think that was good at all. And we went through some others, and they were pretty sure that those weren't good ways of talking to one another. In fact, they were real sure about that. And so then I shared with them that we were standing under the light of Jesus, and Jesus was holding those little kids. How do you think Jesus would feel about when we called each other names? Oh, they shook their heads and said, no, Jesus doesn't want us to do that. They're getting this. And so then before communion, I said, communion, community, they sound a lot alike. Because every time we take communion, it's about building a community. And how we talk to one another matters. And then we looked around, and we had 4 cultures represented in those 26 kids and adults. And we had dark hair and light hair and almost no hair. We had red hair and blonde hair. We had one guy with a stocking cap on. We had every color under the rainbow of clothes and different sorts of shoes. And we had squirmy and we had still. And there we were, all of us, under the light of Jesus, seeing Jesus hold 2 kids in his embrace. And we were reminded that we're all held in Jesus' embrace as children of God. Jesus calls us to unite and to share the light. A bunch of cars from that Massachusetts town did drive down to the shore. They did pray, they did hope, they did wait to see if that particular rescue mission was going to be a success. Many of the Coast Guard people actually did say, I'm not going out that day, because the waves were 60-foot waves, and because it was nearly impossible. In fact, they figured it was impossible. They went down to that shoreline, and they waited. But they did not turn on their car headlights because it was 1952. There were not alternators in cars, and that's what car headlights looked like. Pretty dim. They had already prepared. They were rescuers by nature. They had already built the lighthouse, and contrary to the movie, it was shining that night. And there was a buoy on the water with a red light that was lit that night. And that's what guided home the Coast Guard rescuers. It was a boat made for 12. They carried in 32 sailors and 4 coasties because they didn't want to leave a single person behind, and the only one they left behind was the one that fell into the water and drowned in the process of trying to get onto the boat. Their light was shining that night. The light, God's light, always prevails when it shines through God's people. But we've got to let it shine. Jesus reminds us that we are the light of the world. That's our purpose. Not to convince anyone, not to argue and win or get the last word or the best insult. Our purpose is to shine so that others will be drawn into the arms of Jesus' love. Where will you shine?